I went to Arnold Morales Academy on 90th and Exchange. It used to be Philip Sheridan Academy.
Okay.
My granddad worked there for since probably like mid 80s. He was a athletic director, basketball coach, and all that. So
that's the only reason why you went there. You
Yeah.
skipped Al, you skipped all the motherfuckers.
I ain't going. And that's crazy. Like all my friends went to Coles or Bradwell or Nino's. You know what I'm saying? But my granddad being a security and basketball coach, at this school. That's why I ended up going there. And I went there with him from kindergarten to 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I did all my years there at Arnold Morales for sure.
We can all agree that Bradwell was a damn penitentiary, even when we was shorties. The motherfuckers the only place I ever hooped that had chain nets, G.
On me.
In the grammar school, bro.
Chain nets in that bitch.
That's a fact. I think that park and I used to go to my cousin's house by Simeon, Westcott. It was the only two chain nets I ever seen in my life growing up. Westcott Elementary on 81st and Vincennes and Bradwell. Them only courts I ever seen with a chain net. And growing up, watching, the West Coast movies and stuff, like, you always wanted to see a chain net.
Right.
And, so it was dope to go play in those parts for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Okay. Let's see. Let's fast forward. 8th grade. You done been with your grandpa. All them years. The next step you take. What made you decide Hyde Park?
Man, it's crazy. Like I was just telling y'all how I went to grammar school with my granddad. Because like that was my granddad. I mean, my uncle had just graduated from there.
Okay.
Leon Smith, who ended up attending King High School, who ended up getting drafted by the Spurs first round, actually played for my granddad too. So like that was my, being young and being around him and his team all the time, like that was my inspiration for going there.
Right.
But high school, man, I always wanted to go to Whitney Young. Quentin Richardson. Well, let me backtrack. My granddad and my most of my family, they used to work at all the like main event high school basketball games. My granddad used to be one of the securities that was escorting the referees to and from the locker room.
Okay.
So me just being around him and seeing that and being able to be at those mid-90s city championships when I'm 6 or 7 years old, that's when you start really finding your love for the game and, just starting to like certain players. At that time it was Amari Sawyer, my Leon Smith, who I was just telling you about, they got drafted, Cedric Banks, the Bailey brothers at Westinghouse. Right. So I was front and center. There's a lot of people my age that don't really remember those times, seeing those guys. I used to see them live and be able to actually, touch and get autographs and, really put my eyes on these guys. So seeing Quentin Richardson and how dominant he was, like Whitney Young was always a school that I wanted to go to. But as I got older, didn't realize the qualifications of getting in Whitney Young, try to take a test, like a placement test in 7th grade. And I really wasn't doing,
them enrollment.
So I wasn't really, up to speed with that. My mom had a second job, so like, as long as I was doing good in school, she wasn't really concerned about trying to get me in those other programs to just, to try to go to Whitney Young or anything like that. We just, took everything day by day. Right. But I honestly think the reason she didn't go hard at that because she really wanted me to come to Hyde Park where she was working at. And she was security and volleyball coach at Hyde Park since I had been probably in like the 2nd grade. So, remember when we used to have a report card pickup, it would be elementary on one day, high school on one day. So like I used to go to my mom's job, sometimes when I was too young to watch myself at home, I would go to her job on our report card pickup day, and the coaches were there, and they, she went to school with a couple of the coaches, just how it is now. Like we got our homies that's becoming the coaches and the administration people. So, that relationship, they used to always be like, yeah, man, we'll see you in a few years. I'm like, no, y'all won't. Like, I ain't coming to school with my mama. Like I ain't want to go to school with my mom, just for reasons as far as, just, you want to be a kid, you want to, you want to get into mischievous things, whether it's, like something bad, like you're not trying to do the worst things, but you just, you want to be a little sneaky, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like that was my reason for not wanting to go there. But as time got closer to high school, it was like that was like the only option for me. So I ended up attending Hyde Park, and then it was decent. It was a good 4 years.